Hey everyone, we're going to look at the I can statement. I can explore, describe, and solve number patterns using multiplication. Now we've looked at number patterns before and rules and what rules in an input and output table. But today we're going to be using a little bit of something that we know a lot about, and it is called place value, in order to work out some rules and also patterns when it comes to multiplication. And this will help in particular when we get to really big numbers. So when we use I forgot an E, whoopsie daisy. When we get to place value, we really need to remember about our place value parts. So for example, we might have a number that looks like this. And we need to remember our place value parts of the ones, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, the 10,000s, and the 100,000s. And when we look at numbers like this, how we need to break them up in order to read. So remember, we always work in groups of 3 to work out where our number needs the comma. So for this number, we know that this is 500,000 or 500,000. It has a 60,000. It has 3,000s, 100, 2 tens, and 0 ones. So I can read this as 563,120. Again, noticing how I broke it up. So we have 3 parts each. You're probably thinking, Miss P, why do I need place value in order to solve multiplication? I mean, I already know the place value parts. Well, I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to show you a skill today that's really going to help you. Now, you should know by the end of grade 4 all your times tables up to 10 times 10, which means you need to know all your 1s, your 2s, your 3s, your 4s, your 5s, your 6s, your 7s, your 8s, your 9s, and your 10s. If you don't already, I suggest that you get practicing. Knowing my times tables like this will really help me when it comes to working out problems with large place value parts. So for example, today we're just going to be practicing with what happens when we have a double-digit number, a 3-digit number, a 4-digit number, and a 5-digit number where the numbers at the end are 0. So up the top, you might notice that I have the equation or the number sentence 3 times 3. Now I'm pretty good with my multiplication, and I know that 3 times 3 is 9. Now if I know this, I can work out what 3 times 30 is, because if you notice, 3 times 30 already has 3 times 3 in it, which means I know that it's going to be 9. But because I've got 3 times 3 tens, I need to make sure that I'm adding the 0 place value part at the end to make sure I'm going into tens. Again, let's move down. This time I've got 3 times 300. Again, I'm looking at the pattern. 3 times 3 is 9. But this time I have 3 hundreds. So I need to be making sure I'm adding the 0 as the placeholder at the end. I'm going to show you again. This is now with the thousands. We've got 3 times 3, but we've also got 3 times 3,000. I know that 3 times 3 is 9, but with this place value parts, I know that I've actually got 3 thousands. So I need to place my place value at the end. And just like we have, one too many. With the groups of 3, we have the 1s, 10s, 100s, and 1000s. I group them into the different groups, so the 3 groups. And that's where I can work out where I need to put my comma, because I know some people get a little confused where they need to put their comma. So let's do the last one. 3 times 3 here, but I also have 3 times 30,000. Again, using the same method. I know what 3 times 3 is. I know it's 9. But I actually have 3 10,000s. So I need to make sure I'm adding that place value holder at the end. Again, making sure with the groups of 3s with my 1s, my 10s, my 100s, my 1000s, and my 10,000s, I'm grouping those numbers correctly. That way, I'm able to work out where my comma needs to go. Today, you're going to be getting sets of tasks like this, where you'll need to work out either what the answer is, or you might need to work out what the place value it will be timesing by. That is part of your problem solving. Have fun. Good luck.